It came as a bit of a surprise earlier this month when Davenport Mayor Frank Klipsch announced he will not run for a third term. He made that decision public with the year left in his second term during a committee of the whole meeting. He says the commitment takes more time away from his family than he'd like. Klipsch says he went public early to give everyone who's interested in running a chance to make plans, in saying in part, quote, "I want to ensure a smooth and productive transition to maintain our great momentum towards an even greater future for our wonderful city." These first 3 years with Frank Klipsch at the helm saw some significant changes. One is the fine-tuning of a long-term plan for the riverfront, clearing out the facade of the old Rhythm City Casino to make way for a parking lot and more green space there. Davenport landed the Sterilite plant that's adding 500 jobs to the local economy. And we saw Costco open recently as well. That business is providing 200 jobs. Well, these decisions never come easy for the men and women who hold public office. Someone new, though, will be running the city in a little more than a year. The man responsible for creating that job opening joins us for a conversation this morning. Davenport Mayor Frank Klipsch. Good to see you again.
Thanks. Good to see you, Jim.
Is this job tougher than you thought it would be, and how does it differ from your expectations?
Well, first of all, I remained excited about the job. I really loved being mayor and all the great things were getting to be done. But as over Thanksgiving, I was together with all my 19 children and grandchildren, and realized that if I run another term, 7 of my 10 grandkids will be in high school or college. And it was just that opportunity that I'm going to miss that slippery slope of losing that touch, the opportunity. So I decided I'm going to be able to spend more time with them. But I'm going to continue. It's going to be exciting next year. But I'm also going to be looking for what I'm going to do next, and which maybe give a little more flexibility in my time.
When you talk about that, the demands of the job, was it more demanding than you expected in terms of that time commitment? And is that different than your expectations?
Well, I think that for me, the amount of things that the mayor is expected to participate in, most weeks there are 7 days a week worth of things to do. Now, some of them may not be all day long, but it's one of those things, if you're here, you can't be with grandkids somewhere else, or you can't be with family somewhere else. But it's exciting. I didn't realize how much people enjoyed having the mayor at all different types of events, how many things that the mayor of Davenport represents the city on with our joint initiatives like the Medic Board and the Scott Emergency Communications Center and Bi-State Regional Commission, etc., and then the actual functioning work of the city. So there's just a lot of it. I figured it has cost me about 65 hours a week to do the job. And the way I've made my commitment to do it, I'm going to take that time to do it. People say you can say no, but I've decided to say yes to the job and make sure I do it the way I think it's meant to be done.
Everyone certainly wants a piece of your time, me included, obviously. It seems these 2-year terms themselves can be limiting. You'll serve 4 years, which is technically 2 terms. It really feels like one when we look at bigger picture stuff. Is 4 years just alone enough time to make significant changes in a leadership role like that?
Well, I think Davenport considering 4-year terms would make a lot of sense. We are the only city around that has 2-year terms. I would suggest that potentially we do half the aldermen and do alternating terms, half the aldermen every 2 years, with the mayor with one of those two. Because what's happening now is in 1 year, the first year of election, we spend a lot of time getting our team together, getting to work together smoothly, and then the second year, everybody's running for election again. Where if you have 4-year terms, we can actually start and finish some projects.
Concentrate on the business of this.
Concentrate on the business. And in many cases, we end up planning over and over again because you get a new group of people that say, well, let's have a riverfront plan. Well, we've gotten a lot of riverfront plans. Let's focus on whatever that issue is, whether it be juvenile justice or riverfront development or urban revitalization.
Let's get into that because you indicate that those are things that you want to concentrate on your last year, the economic development, the urban areas, addressing the juvenile justice issue, the crime, juvenile crime. What specifically can you get done in those areas in 1 more year?
Well, I think the process is always putting together a good system to make things happen, the transition that continue on beyond you. And that's why I mentioned I want to make sure there's a smooth transition. Things are in place and get more people involved, and it's not just those in City Hall, but those in the community at large. So we're going to be announcing some reports and some updates on the juvenile justice initiatives next week. As an example, urban revitalization is well underway. How do we put some more concrete things in place to deal with that? We want to finalize some riverfront development, the Main Street landing plans, as an example, and continue with economic development initiatives. We want to make sure we continue to draw people to the community. And as I said from the beginning, we want to be concierge and not gatekeeper. How do we find more people that want to move to the community? But also, I think it's important, we still got to keep the basic city services, street, sewers, and infrastructure, all those basic services that we need to make sure we provide.
Of course, what disappointments do you have? Any?
I think, you always want to get more done, as an example. I'm disappointed in the sense that some of these initiatives I'll have to be part of, but a different way. I'm going to still plan on being committed in 2020 and beyond. This will be after the mayor's term ends. It'll be my third retirement, so I will continue to go as we go on.
All right, we have more to discuss with Davenport Mayor Frank Klipsch. Civil discourse, civil disagreement, civil rights, how the mayor responds to the critics over his recent appointments to the city's Civil Rights Commission. For the record.